Yossi, what is My Health?
My Health is a subsidiary of Clalit Health Services, which focuses on initiation of the eHealth initiative in Israel. Clalit is the largest health organization in Israel with above 4 million patients, customers, and the second largest health organization in the world. And My Health was founded 3 years ago in order to make a dramatic change in the participant of the patients in their own health via using technological and services that weren't familiar till My Health was founded.
Please describe some modules and how the patients can gain benefits.
We actually divide My Health modules into 3 categories: what the patient can see, what the patient should know, and what the patient can do. These 3 categories together are making the puzzle of eHealth and how eHealth contributes to the patient. What the patient can see means the patient has access to his full personal health record via the internet and smartphones, and where he can see his medication, his diagnosis, his lab result, etc. We also emphasize that the patient would have access not only to his file but also to his pre-adult children's file, because he's the family case manager. What the patient should know, we refer it to not only bringing the data to the patient but also explaining the data to the patient. I'll give 2 examples. If, for example, the patient sees his lab results within the personal health record, then each and one of the lab results is accompanied by an explanation written by 2 different experts in a layman's language that tells the person what is the meaning of the lab results that he just saw. And the second example is a preventive medicine recommendation, which is specifically tailored, personally tailored to the patient. For example, if the patient is diabetic, then he would get once a year a recommendation to go and do his eye examination. If the patient has arrived to the age of 40, he would get a recommendation to go and do a lipid profile lab test. If he has done it, he won't get this recommendation. These recommendations are based on the age, sex, family history, accessory examination history of this specific patients. And we now know that patients that see the recommendation in their personal health record actually are performing their preventive recommendations from 2 to 3 times more than the same patients that didn't see the recommendations in their personal health web file. And the third category is what the patient can do from administrative missions like scheduling a clinic visit, to semi-clinical missions like requesting a renewal of prescription, to full e-visit consultations that are done or asynchronously via secured email, or synchronously via video conference with selected physicians that enable us to give 24/7 service to our different health populations.
What are the critical success factors, and what is acceptance like now within the various target groups?
One of the major, I think, misunderstanding in the eHealth area is that people think that eHealth is about technology, and it isn't. eHealth is about engaging patients with their health. eHealth is about making the patient a partner to his health. And the aims to achieve these goals is through technological means. But technology is not the target, it's only a mean. How to make the patient a participant, how to make the patient a partner, is something that requires understanding in multidisciplinary areas. You have to understand health, of course. You have to understand clinics. You have to understand the culture that you are working within. You have to understand legal and ethical issues. What I'm really trying to say, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. You have to tailor-fit the solution based upon a thorough understanding of what the population needs are, and then afterwards tailoring it with the technological means that serve this needs and the services that would serve this need. In Israel, after we are now 3 years old with this initiative, and we have more than 1.5 million patients, million unique patients, different IDs, using the system each month. Most of them use the system more than once, because if we count the encounters, we have more than 2.3 million encounters per month. And this is a huge acceptance. I think the main reason that we have succeeded so far is that we mapped in detail the different, we call it what is in it for me, for the different subpopulations that are going to use the system. You have to understand what is in it for me for the physicians. You have to understand what is in it for me for the nurses. You have to understand what is in it for me for the physiotherapist, etc. And you also have to understand what is in it for me for the patient, because the eHealth initiative is about a huge change management. And this is, I think, is the critical success factor. You have to build the right configuration of leadership, understanding the population that are going to use it. And then the technology is just the tools of how to reach and achieve your goal.
Is it possible to migrate the My Health concept to other countries, such as in Europe?
The answer is definitely yes. Clalit is just celebrated their 100th anniversary. So it's a big organization with above 40,000 workers, 14 hospitals, 1,400 ambulatory clinics. It's a huge organization. And as every huge organization, it has its political issues, bureaucratic issues. If you have 2 physicians, you will have 5 expressions. People do not agree on every subject that you will raise. Though these challenges that I've mentioned, in just 3 years, we've succeeded in the acceptance rate that I've just mentioned. We have above 47% of our population using this eHealth system. And again, in order to do it right, you have to have the right people that understand multidisciplinary, that must be understood before you go and try to implement something. And I think this is the future. It's not a question whether it will happen or not. It is happening. The only question that the leaders of the countries should ask themselves, if they want to be led to this evolution or they want to lead this evolution. And Clalit has chosen to lead this evolution. So to your question, yes, it will happen. And the rate upon which it will happen depends on how well you perform with these critical success factors.